Okay, guys, I haven't messed with my Ortur laser printer in a while, or laser cutter, or whatever. I said a lot of guys been having problems with these things not homing right and acting all different kinds of stuff, acting weird. And I'm going to show you guys something here. This connector right here, even though it's plugged in tight, snapped in, could be any one of these connectors actually, even though they're snapped in, these things can slide. Okay, the yellow, I'm gonna pull this out, see if I can get this off, and I can't. Well, I'll just try and point it out to you here. Get this out of here. All right, let's see. I got anything to point with. Maybe this. All right. This connector right here is on a pin. You can barely see the pins. You can see the pins back here, right down in there. They're bent in an L shape. And this plastic connector here can actually slide forward just enough to where when you snap this connector together, you're not making an actual connection. You can see right now that it's tighter here. Oops, I'm looking at my phone. I'm pointing at my phone. It's tighter here than it is here. This white connector slides on those L pins down there. They come out of the printed circuit board and they turn at a 90 degree. And then this plastic housing here is slid on there. And then this one is your connector, snaps onto there. If this plastic piece right here moves forward away from the printed circuit board, you will not get a connection in all of these connectors on here. They might look like they're connected together. This will be locked in, but these connectors are not actually touching inside here because they have slid forward this way. This is a really cheap piece of crap that they used for these connectors. You can see that right there. You see it sitting at an angle? That's because they move. It's on there really good right now because I pushed it on after I found a loose connection. I took that thing and I slid it back toward this printed circuit board, and now it's holding good. But originally, when I was having problems with this thing was out. This white connector here was out that way, probably 1/8 of an inch, maybe almost 1/4 of an inch. So there was no connection being made inside. All I can say is that the Ortur motherboard is really crappy. The whole system is built really cheap. So, but that's one of the major problems that I see with this, with people having problems with this. Like, look at this connector here. Look at this connector here. It's like not even setting flat on the board, on the printed circuit board. You see how it moves up and, here, I'll do it from this way. It moves up and down there. It's just not, the only thing holding it on is those L-bend pins coming out of the back. They come out and they turn that way. And that's the only thing that holds them on. There's no solder joint. You see a hole right here. There's a hole right there, a pin, where there should have been some kind of connector that the pin would go in there and it'd just be a solder joint to help hold this connector on. These connectors are junk, okay? They cheaped out on this, and that's why you're having so many problems with connections, okay? Could be other connectors too, but this is a major flaw in this design. So if you got a problem with it, make sure when you put these connectors together, make sure that you slide this thing all the way that way so that you get a good tight connection. You can sit there and have these things snapped in and they still won't be making a connection because they've slid forward away from the motherboard on those L bends. Hope that helps.